Boy, we got some more news and shocking details on this whole Secret Service failure of what took place on July 13, 2024. A very historic moment, but we still want to send our prayers and love to the ones that have been affected by this, that are still shooken up about this. We send our love and condolences and prayers to Carpenter family. Rest in peace to Corey. But you can, man, the energy is different now, man. Things are different right now in America, y'all. After this took place, I don't know if you can feel it, but I can feel it. I can feel it. I can see it. It's different, man. The tide is turning even more now. You know, and as we see in our recent polls that just hit this morning, Trump is leading in. I mean, it's, they say don't say landslide, but looking like a landslide. And even CNN just came out yesterday and showed what it's looking like right now. They said it's looking like a landslide. But we can't get complacent, man. We can't get complacent. You know, we got to continue to be heard, continue to speak out, continue to, stand our ground, man. Continue to fight, and we have to go out and vote, man. You know. But this is just, it's getting worse and worse, you guys, and it's not looking good for this, this whole situation. The Secret Service, DEI hires didn't earn it, not qualified, and we just had a whistleblower situation come out. This is not looking good, y'all. This is not looking good. New angles, new footage is dropping almost every single day, and we got some more shocking details that we're going to show you in this video. And shout out to Liberal Hive Mind for putting this video together. But let's go and jump into it, y'all. But everybody is kind of calling it set up inside job, that this 20-year-old did not work alone. And the fact that they had sight on them and they allowed this to happen, allowed this to let a shot off, to let a shot be fired. It does not look good, y'all. And like I said, if I was her, I would resign and get to cracking open Pepsis again. Going back to crack open Pepsis. I'm just being honest. Check this out.
Okay, so let's first start off with the latest report from CNN. We're simply going to play the clip and then let's have a conversation. Take a look.
Aaron, there's been some developments as the investigation has progressed. What the investigators are telling us is, as far as a motive, a manifesto, the reasoning behind this, the suspect is still a blank slate. But what they have developed is a lot of the background about what happened that day. They know that he went to his employer at the nursing home where he works as a dietary specialist before this and said, I need Saturday off. I have something important to do. But he told his coworkers, I'll see you on Sunday. So he changed his days off, presumably for this. We also understand that when he got to the fairgrounds where this rally was being held for Donald Trump, the first thing that puts him on the radar of security people is near the magnetometer area where they're screening people in, he's carrying in his hand a rangefinder. It's a device that looks like a small pair of binoculars, but it's used by shooters to measure the distance when they're setting up a long-distance shot. Because he didn't have a weapon, that would not have prevented him to go through security, but they did flag, what does he have this in his hand for? At that point, they told people, keep an eye on this guy, but then he leaves the secure area, the staging area, and he doesn't turn up again for some time until the crowd says there's a guy crawling up the roof and it appears he has a rifle. There is an eerie moment in here, Aaron, where he's taking the rangefinder and he's looking through it at the counter sniper positions, and one of the counter sniper positions is looking at him through the scope. At this point, there's not a gun in the picture, as I understand it, but they're saying He's looking at us, looking at him. Then when people alert the police and they try to come up the ladder to get him, and he confronts them with the AR-15 gun, they dive for cover, and then a moment later he opens fire. But a lot of this sounds very spread out. The end of it happens very quickly. The last piece is the search of the car. As we reported last night, 2 remote-controlled IEDs, remote-controlled bombs in the car. The remote control for those devices found on his person on the roof, according to sources. 3 fully loaded magazines with nearly 100 rounds, a bulletproof vest. So it raises the question, did he expect to escape from this? And if so, what was all that intended for? What was to happen next? Questions that are still open in the minds of these investigators.
So some of the information that was repeated there is stuff we've already spoken about, but not all. One of the first things reported there has to be the most shocking. Supposedly, the perpetrator, earlier that day, went through a Secret Service security checkpoint with his rangefinder, and he was apparently spotted scoping out the counter-sniper position. So we previously played a clip where it was a bunch of rally-goers who had spotted him supposedly looking through a rangefinder, and that already was shocking enough, but that wasn't nearly as damning for the Secret Service as this is. You know, given the previous context, there's an element of plausible deniability. If it's just rally-goers who spotted him, did they report it? Did they not report it? Did they report it in time? There's all kinds of factors that could be at play, but now we're talking about something completely different. We're talking about the Secret Service having spotted this individual with a rangefinder. They let him in with said rangefinder, and apparently even saw him doing reconnaissance work on the counter-sniper position, and all they did was note it off as suspicious. Let's keep an eye on him. And that's where it gets even more frustrating and more confusing. They then proceeded to do what? Literally not keep an eye on him. Oh, here's this suspicious character. With a tool that shooters use at a presidential rally, just casually pinging the distance of the counter-sniper location on top of the adjacent roof. Nothing to see here. Seems a little suspicious. Let me continue to eat this hot dog and drink my grape soda. How is it possible that he was allowed in with a rangefinder? Is he in all of his golf gear? Is he a frickin' caddy who just got off work at a golf course across the street? Obviously not. The questions here keep mounting. How was this kid able to assume that position with all of the stuff that he was doing? I'm just gonna insert this little comedy skit right over here.
So, we're gonna do a little test here to see if you guys can notice anything in my video. Okay, so pay close attention. We'll be right back. You guys notice anything? Is it something that's visible? Can you see this? This is what they missed.
Fire everybody. Everybody got to go, man. Just fire them all. Boy. Boy. Again, y'all, this never should have happened, man. Prayers for Trump in the comments, man. Prayers for Trump and his family in the comments, man. And we just don't know what's next, man, in these dark times that we're living in, y'all. So prayers for Trump, and I want to send my prayers to you guys and your family as well. You know, it's funny, and there's a lot of skits and people, torching and making fun of the Secret Service right now, as it is just a huge failure, and everything that's hit the fan these last couple of days. It's not looking good at all, man. You know.
The Secret Service missed this.
Now, obviously, the clip is a little bit exaggerated. It's purposely hyperbolic because it's supposed to be a joke, but in a certain way, it kind of highlights the absurdity of it all now, doesn't it? It's all just so insane and so completely unbelievable. You know, again, I'm going to preface by saying this. I'm not making any statement as a matter of fact. I think I'm simply feeling like everybody else is feeling. Searching for a logical explanation. Look, I don't want to be cynical. I don't want to always automatically assume the darkest scenario. But in this case, frankly, you have to have your own head up your behind to ignore the glaring issues. And the more we learn, the more issues arise. We're now also learning that it's possible that the shooter had an accomplice. Some people are talking about multiple shots being fired. I wouldn't go that far. The only evidence that people are showing so far is a picture of a water tower. Supposedly shots came from that Pennsylvania water tower. They're pointing to this video right over here.
That chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
It seems as though there's some sort of anomaly on top of the tower, but really it's grainy footage and the camera's moving. Some people are convinced that this is a person, but actually it's just a star that's painted on top of the water tower, or rather painted on the side, and then there's that little cap on top. I got a high resolution photo of the water tower just to show you guys, so I'm not going as far to suggest that there was a second shooter. I think honestly at this point that's completely ridiculous, but what is raising questions, and I don't know exactly where this is going to lead, but I'll show it to you guys, and it's highly suspicious. Supposedly, a transmitter was found in the perpetrator's possession after the threat was taken down. Take a look at this clip from Matt Tardio, a retired Green Beret.
Things just got more weird for the President Trump assassination attempt. Right down here below is a transmitter, and we're about to talk about why that is a huge flippin' deal. For those that don't know, my name is Matt Tardio. I'm a retired Green Beret and prior law enforcement officer, and I happen to be an explosives expert on top of all that. So what does that transmitter have to do with the explosives found inside the vehicle, and what does it tell us about the suspect? So obviously he presses a series of buttons on the transmitter, which then goes towards the receiver. It then sends out an electrical impulse, which then runs through the charge and detonates it. Now that electrical impulse that's sent out by the receiver, or in this case, we're gonna call it the switch, is not enough to set off the main charge. That, my friends, is why electric blasting caps exist. Now, if that's the case, and he actually had his explosive devices rigged up to an electric blasting cap, he could have acquired them one of two ways. The first way is he could have made them. Precursors are readily available at numerous places here inside of the United States, and truthfully, I've even had them sent to my front door off of Amazon. Now, he could have taken those precursors and mixed his own explosives out of it and made his own electric blasting cap. Only problem is, in order to do that, it requires a very precise formula, and it's highly volatile when you're making and drying it. But I want you to look at it from a foreign actor's perspective. If you are going to be training somebody and giving them the means in order to do what this gentleman did, would you want them to have a social media platform? The answer is no, because all they have to do is make one dumbass comment and the whole thing is going to get tipped off to law enforcement. So you would want to recruit somebody like him who has been picked on in school, likely has a couple mental issues, but also has no real social media presence, and likely gets his interactions online through different platforms like, I don't know, say 4chan or Reddit. Once they've got him recruited, then they just need to talk to him. Once they're talking to him, either through, emails, private messaging, whatever, right? There's a million different ways to do it. They don't even have to meet up with the guy. They can just give him a series of tasks, and then once he completes those tasks and they know he's good to go, then they can start dead dropping him the different things that he needed in order to conduct this attack. This whole thing looks shady as hell.
Oh boy.
Again, going right back to that same point, the more information that drops, the more questions I have. Something just isn't right. Or as I keep saying, the whole thing is simply unbelievable. Now, those are the latest updates. I want to finish off this video just by showing you guys two reenactment videos, just to show you how close of a call these shots were. Some people on the internet really put it into visual form. Just take a look at how close of a call it was.
Take a look what happened.
How crazy is it when you put
Wow. Ah. God is amazing, man. God is amazing. God bless Trump, man. Prayers for Trump and his family in the comments, y'all.
put it into perspective? Half an inch closer, and America.
Wow. Woo! It gives me chills, man, looking at that. That gives me chills, y'all. Boy. They have wiped this man through the mud, man. He said I wouldn't have to be here if it wasn't such a terrible job done. To see what this man has been through, man, especially this year alone. Ah. boy, you guys should be fired up to go vote, man. Should be fired up. That's all I can say, man. I love y'all. Bless you all and your family. I'm wishing the best in all you guys' life, man. I encourage you to spread the love to one another. You never know what somebody's going through in these dark, crazy times, man. People are struggling, man. We got to come together. I love y'all. And I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace and love, family.